Hello my fellow Star Wars fanatics, we are a month away from the release of Rogue One, and a lot of you might be wondering if you should pick up Star Wars Catalyst, a Rogue One novel. Now I doubt not reading the book will have any impact on your enjoyment of the movie, but what I think it will do is give you a deeper understanding for the characters in the film. First, I would like to give my overall thoughts without spoiling anything. From start to finish, I really enjoyed this book. It gives some great history with the new characters and acts as a cohesive tissue between the prequels and the original trilogy. The story opens at the start of the Clone Wars and continues through major events leading up to A New Hope. There's mention of the fabricated betrayal of the Jedi leading to the fall of the Order, and the shockingly quick transformation of the Republic into the Galactic Empire. James Luceno has a great feel for the Star Wars universe. He's known for writing the now Legends novel Darth Plagueis, and he also wrote the canon book Tarkin, which is in my top 3 favorite canon novels. He has an impressive knack for adding complexity to established characters and introducing new story elements that fit seamlessly into the universe. One major thing the book dealt with obviously was the construction of the Death Star and the involvement of both Orson Krennic and Galen Erso in the development of the superweapon. It was cool to see what went into the construction and the lengths the Empire went to both complete the battle station and keep it out of the public eye. What I like most about this book is the relationship Krennic has with other characters. I like seeing his friendship with the Ersos evolve throughout the story and the rivalry he has with Tarkin. More on that later. I got a small House of Cards vibe from these story points as Krennic plays people for his own personal gain. Since I'm a painfully slow reader, I listened to this book on Audible, which is narrated by Jonathan Davis. Davis is probably my favorite Star Wars narrator behind Mark Thompson. His inflection and character voices add a lot to the production and can spark even the laziest of imaginations. He also narrated Lords of the Sith and Battlefront Twilight Company, and does an equally great job of narrating those books. Now we've come to the part of the video that's going to be filled with spoilers, so if you haven't read the book, skip ahead until you don't see the spoiler warning on the screen. So one of the more important aspects of this novel is the exploration of Kyber crystals. We've gotten dealing with Kybers from the Clone Wars animated series and the Ahsoka novel, but throughout Catalyst we get to learn more about the nature of the crystals. Galen Erso heads research to potentially harness the power from the crystals and provide energy for developing worlds. Knowing this, Krennic manipulates him into working for the Empire and uses his research in developing the Death Star's super laser. This makes Erso critical to the station's completion, and I believe this is how Galen will factor into Rogue One. Throughout the galaxy, Kybers are known as living crystals, and they had a strong connection to the Force. The Jedi therefore consider them sacred and concealed their knowledge of the crystal's powers from prying eyes due to their involatile nature. The energy from Kyber crystals is so unstable that without the proper means, attempting to harness their energy can be disastrous. This goes horrible for the Empire when an entire city is destroyed when they try to weaponize Galen's work. Something that I was very surprised to learn was that the construction of the Death Star began well before the end of Revenge of the Sith. The Republic mysteriously requires plans from the Geonosians, and they secretly start building before the Separatists can construct one of their own. I found this interesting because there's a small possibility that there was 2 Death Stars being built at the same time. The book alludes to the fact that the Separatists were in fact building a superweapon of their own, but this is never confirmed. This might be a clue that explains how the Death Star in Return of the Jedi got built so quickly. That Death Star could have simply been the battle station that the Separatists never completed and the Empire eventually found. I mentioned the Krennic and Tarkin rivalry before. Both have their eyes set on the command of the Death Star. This is a fun element that shows the selfishness and backstabbing that goes on in the ranks of the Empire. I like how Krennic is able to play a long, elaborate game with the Ersos and Tarkin to advance himself in the Imperial ranks. He's able to succeed to a certain extent, but let's be frank, he's no Grand Moff Tarkin. He at one point gets put in charge of the development of the Death Star. However, Galen eventually discovers that he's been attempting to weaponize his research, and the Ersos flee Coruscant. This gets Krennic demoted, and we know from the Tarkin book that the Grand Moff is granted full command of the Death Star. Assuming Tarkin makes an appearance in Rogue One, I'm anxious to see this conflict translate to the big screen. This book also focuses a lot on Jyn's mother, Lyra Erso. Some have speculated that she might be a Force sensitive, and they are sort of right. Lyra knows of the Force and she claims to feel its presence, but that's about it. She doesn't show any other Force abilities, and I don't think we'll see any of these traits passed to Jyn, although this doesn't negate Jyn being a believer in the Force, and that's something I can see her mother passing on to her. I was also pleasantly surprised that Saw Gerrera makes an appearance in this book. I was kind of expecting at least for him to be mentioned, but in the end he helps the Ersos escape Coruscant, and he gives them a comm card in case they need his help again. I think we'll see this card come into play in the movie. So should you pick up a copy of Catalyst before you go see Rogue One? In my opinion, I think you should. It will give you a better understanding where each character fits into the movie and some great backstory that you wouldn't have gotten had you not read it. Especially with Galen and Krennic, there's only so much the movie can do to explain their history, and I feel the book will help fill in those gaps. But if you did read or listen to the book like I did, I would like to know your thoughts. What did you like most about the book, and was there anything that I didn't mention that you would like to talk about? Go ahead and let me know in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and share this video, and consider following me on social media. Be sure to subscribe for more Star Wars discussion, as well as other various videos I do on this channel. As always, thank you for watching, and may the Force be with you.